these clone troopers or these stormtroopers are there to help you, right?
Right.
But Darth Vader's not there to help you. He's there to scare the crap out of you.
And that ties into, like, with propaganda, right? So if the stormtroopers are still wearing white, what does that tell the rest of the galaxy? Or, like, what are they supposed to?
Kind of say that they're the good ones.
Right, yeah. So, like, the Imperial way or the Empire is the right way because the stormtroopers are wearing white. So there's that confusion, that brainwashing of, wow, we need to join the Empire. Good. Okay, so taking into, does everyone understand the difference between indirect and direct characterization?
For sure.
Good, okay. I need a little bit more feedback though.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, okay, nods, yes. Good, a little bit, okay. What part are you confused on?
So it's just like
No, so those were the examples, like they're opposites. Like indirect and direct are
It's
opposites.
physical, like you can see it, or it tells you it. Indirect is it's implied.
Right, you have to make the inference
You have
to
to-
get
yeah, you have to-
the indirect
You
characterization,
have to
right?
make the observation of what the character is.
Right, so it's like the assumptions that you make based on what the character does or says,
But not
those assumptions
possible.
you make about those characters, that's indirect
But
characterization.
it's not directly spoken.
Correct.
Mhm. Okay,
I got it.
cool. So now we're going to do another one thing, pair share. Go back to that same partner and tell me that there's, so what are the two types of characters? So we talked about two types of characterization. What are the two types of characters? And then what are they and what are some good examples? So again, you can show those images again. So let's talk. Starting now.
So you're talking with the partner.
Yeah, so like what if you're looking at heroic character, what would you say about it?
Okay.
And again, it's okay if your guess is wrong. I want to see what you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Good. So you have protagonist and antagonist. Shallow and deep. Okay. Then Jerry. Okay. So yeah, it's showing that antagonist and protagonist.
Oh, now you want to use pictures? Everybody cloud writing. Not even like celebrity because I use it, bro. Sounds good. Love it.
Okay. Awesome. Interesting. Okay. So someone's got onto what it is. So you're right. You're all right. There are protagonists and there are antagonists, right? Protagonists. Who are the protagonists?
The good guys. Good guys.
Yeah,
Not
main character.
always.
Not always.
Not always.
Well, like the
But the main character, yeah, main character. What Michaela said, you know, the character that you're following, that you're maybe rooting for, but the character you're following.
Yeah, Deadpool's not a good guy, guys. He's a piece of garbage.
Anti-hero.
He's a horrible
Keep
human
your
being.
opinion to yourself.
Find evil with you.
All right, but what I was going for was the static and dynamic characters. So, Kira, I saw that you put that up. Can you explain to me what the difference between the two?
Stagnant character does not change, the dynamic character does change. They go through like a mental change. They change their opinions and views.
Right, good. Yeah, so the stagnant stays the same, doesn't really ever change. Dynamic changes views. Cruz.
On the island, there's like what's called shallow and deep character.
Shallow and deep, yeah. So I did see your response there as well. So that's just another way of thinking about it. So
Well, that's
shallow,
the-
like.
That's the way I.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
you are right.
You're right though. So shallow, like,
Yeah.
stays on the surface, right? And then deep, you're getting to know more about the character.
Or like simple and complex.
But he thought I was.
Perfect, yeah. So we have
So it was a weird.
simple,
Isaiah.
we have
Yep.
simple
Yeah.
versus complex, and shallow and deep. This is the same stuff as static and dynamic.
I'm on a time schedule.
So let's look at these characters. Knowing now that static stays the same, dynamic changes, which one do we think Shaggy is?
He doesn't really
Oh yeah, right? He doesn't change.
Yeah.
What is? Give me some traits or attributes or things that Shaggy does.
He's like clueless.
Okay, clueless. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I could talk about him all day. He loves
Smoking the
eating.
bricks.
I mean, I don't think this is really like
No,
at all.
that's part of his actions, right? So he loves eating.
He's scary. He's scared real easy.
Yeah, he's scared. Cowardly.
He loves. He's always in his van with Scooby.
Right? Yeah, so there's his best friend is Scooby. Good. Let's think about some Scooby-Doo episodes. we have those monsters, right? And Fred is always like, hey Shaggy, Scooby, I need you to go and be live bait for me. And what do they say every single time? Yeah, like no man, no way, or zoinks, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's every single episode. Does he ever be like, oh yeah, sure, without Scooby snacks?
No.
Yeah, right? Right? Because he remains scared and cowardly, but we all love him for that, right? It's that consistency or never changing that we can always turn back to.
And sometimes they're the ones that actually like unmask the people.
Right.
So.
The trap
They're
always
very-
fails, but it
yeah.
somehow always works thanks to Shaggy and Scooby, right? What about Simba? So we know Shaggy is static. What about Simba? Is he static?
No, he's dynamic.
Okay, yeah, so he's dynamic. How's he dynamic?
It's like he like grows throughout the movie.
Yeah, he has a heart.
Right?
He like changes his thoughts about like because he obviously becomes the king of the jungle after his father dies, or not the.
Right, yeah.
You understood what I said.
Yeah.
So he
He starts off wanting to be king, and then he becomes like he doesn't want to be hesitant, but
that's
then
too
he
much
has to.
responsibility. Yeah, exactly.
Right, so he has his song, I Can't Wait to Be King. And then when crap hits the ceiling and he needs to be king, he's afraid of that responsibility, and that goes into Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, he writes it.
And then he learns about responsibility later on, becoming king of the pirates. Good, right? And there's other characters for Simba that helps him come to this conclusion. What are some of those supporting characters? Do we remember?
Prairie dog and the friggin'
Right,
Yeah.
Timon and Pumbaa.
He's
Okay,
a
who else?
cat. He's not a prairie dog.
the
like
girl, his
No.
little girlfriend.
Nala? Yeah, Nala. Yep.
The monkey.
What? Remember the monkey's name? But yes.
Oh.
Rafiki or
Yeah, Rafiki. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Good. So we have Timon and Pumbaa who help him like, hey, just relax, man, Hakuna Matata. And then versus like Rafiki, not like, hey, you need to balance this out because you have responsibilities and help the pirates. Okay, so we see how the difference between the two of Shaggy and Simba and understanding static and dynamic characters. Thumbs up, nods, sideways. All right, awesome. And why this is important? Okay, we're going to get into that more. So again, going into indirect and direct characterization, analyzing, making sure it comes to the conclusion, are they static or dynamic? We have a method here we can look at. So, inferring a character's personality when we're not told it specifically. So, Liesel likes to steal. So, being the thieves that we are now, we're going to steal as well, using this acronym. Someone read off what S is for me. Speech, okay. So, what does that mean to you? And again, you can look at the slide as a reference. It's right there.
The way someone talks.
Yeah, so so what they say, or and then how they say it. So if, for example, this person, I'm going to name them No One Ever. If they say, I love writing multi-paper essays, and it's like sincere, what do we know about this person?
They're a hard worker.
Hard worker? Yes, good. They study, they like to work. What if I change the tone a little bit to, I love, like that sarcasm. I love writing multi-paper essays. What do we know about them?
They don't like working.
Right, so yeah, they're lazy. Good. What's T? Thoughts? Okay, yes.